The titans of AI are doing battle. Are you ready? Here's what you need to know and how to protect your company. Hey, I love telling a good story. I love drama and a good story. In this case, the drama just creates itself. This is an amazing story. Welcome to Wolf's Watch. I'm Wolf. Thanks for being part of the conversation. Bring your comments. This is 21st Century Television, live and interactive. So we can do Q&A back and forth, comment back and forth. Looking forward to hearing from you. Here's the thing. Coming back to big AI. When we talk about big AI, we're talking OpenAI, creators of ChatGPT, big companies like NVIDIA that creates a lot of the tech that is doing the number crunching, enabling AI. Intel does that. Microsoft has been involved in a big way. They've done a lot. So big companies like that, and I know that's not all of them, just a few examples, and pertinent to what's happening today. On Friday, the board of directors of OpenAI, and that's the organization that created ChatGPT. You might have used that perhaps, or at least have heard of it in the last 10 months. They fired co-founder, co-creator Sam Altman, who was a board member and also the chief executive officer of the company. And really didn't offer, they've made a public statement, didn't offer much of an explanation. And immediately the chairman of the board and chief operating officer, who originally the board had said was going to work for the new CEO that they had appointed, quit and left. He's the other co-founder. His name, I'm going to look over here and make sure I get this right, Greg Brockman. So he's the other co-founder along with Sam Altman. Now, Microsoft has invested huge billions of dollars into OpenAI. They've integrated ChatGPT into their Bing search utility, internet search, in competing with Google. Google's developing their own AI, actually multiple AIs. One of the ones that they're releasing for public use is Bard. They've been testing that. Now today, the new CEO comes out and speaks out against of OpenAI, speaks out against the board, not happy with what the board was doing. She was the chief technical officer. So she was involved, or technology officer. So she was really involved in the tech that creates and enables ChatGPT and other things that OpenAI is working on. And 500 people that work for OpenAI signed a letter that said, you either bring Sam Altman back or we're leaving. Now, to thicken the plot, Sam Altman and Greg Brockman are now working for Microsoft. They've announced Microsoft's announcement. So the 500 people that are threatening to quit OpenAI may end up working for Microsoft. This is an instant team for a research lab. Microsoft created a new research lab environment for the creators of ChatGPT to set up shop at Microsoft. Microsoft's already very involved in AI and AI development. So they have a lot of momentum. It's a great environment for those folks to step into. Consider this. There's only 700 people working, 750 people working for OpenAI. So if 500 quit, even 250 say, cut that number in half. Say 250 finally go, all right, we're gonna walk our talk, and out the door they go. That's a huge impact. That is a massive impact on OpenAI and could have big consequences. If 500 out of 750 quit, that could be a serious problem. All this turbulence is you're implementing these tools like ChatGPT and others. And what happens if ChatGPT is no longer available because the company that created it fails? Think about that. There's a lot of new tools that are coming out. You should be experimenting with them, looking at how can you integrate those into your business to create strategic advantage. You also want to be able to look at, what is the impact on your team. We've talked about that some. Here's the key thing today. Here's how you protect your company against these inevitable turmoils and failures. There will be companies that will be great successes like ChatGPT and that will be gone in 3 years. They won't just simply not be advancing. It won't be existing. The tool won't be available. Now, I'm not predicting that's what's going to happen to ChatGPT. I'm using that as an example. Okay. So before we start writing in with arguments on that, hey, Tim Gillette, thank you so much for being part of the conversation, my friend. Tim Gillette is somebody you need to know. Great entrepreneur. He runs Simple Easy websites as well. That's one of many projects that he has. So if you're looking to build a website, reach out to Tim Gillette. Tim, thanks for being part of the conversation. And also a very smart individual, Jeff Zarinelli. What does the future of AI do to believability of news outlets and political credibility? Right? True, scary, true, very true. Great insight, Jeff. Thank you. We'll riff on that in just a minute. I want to come back to that. And Tim, as a follow up, I think this is only the beginning of the whole new AI game. Yes, I am totally 100% with you on that. The leader in this industry will be a name that we do not know yet. I only believe that 100%. This is so early in the game. We do not know how this is going to shake out. And Tim, thank you for the great insights. That is, that's a perspective as you, as a business owner, as a leader in your business, need to have, top of mind. Look at this, understand this is early days. There will be consolidations. We talked about that in the previous episode. They're seeing all this turmoil with OpenAI. The leadership, the two creators and co-founders of OpenAI are now at Microsoft. How is that going to affect ChatGPT if you're using that? Or the Dolly, the text to image utility that they created, AI that they created. Great tool. Here's how you protect your company. A key question that you need to ask yourself and your team. Okay. This is a writer downer. Get ready. How fast can you undo and re-implement a new tool? If you're using ChatGPT, if that goes away as a tool, how fast can you replace it with something else? Or if there's no equivalent, how do you respond to that? How do you maintain that process, that competitive advantage, that information that you're getting through ChatGPT? Doing strategic what ifs. I found it incredibly powerful for doing that. The content generation, but from a CEO perspective, going what ifs. What does this look like? What information is available on this? If you're given this scenario, what are the top 5 things that you see? Right. This is some tip to you. I don't know if you tried this. I've been working with those types of scenarios, listening to what others are doing, other leaders are doing with that, and saying, okay, let me try that. Let me implement that. Not try it. Do it. There's no try. Right. Okay. You're in the right place. So if you're referencing with that, you're in the right place. So implement that and then build off of it. If that tool goes away, how fast can you pivot? How fast can you undo it? If a better tool comes out, how fast can you pull out your old tool and install a new one? That's something I've seen with different types of technology becomes a massive problem. Computer aided design. I was working with engineering teams and working on how do we think about and how do we change the paradigm for how we develop products. Was very involved in that in the 1990s, from aircraft to subsystems to launch systems design. And so how do we go about this in a way that gives us a much better, not much, but a radically better result in terms of the end product, the producibility of it, the maintainability of it, the safety of it, the user experience, if you will. And I was involved in aircraft design. I'm sorry about the small seats, and it's a customer thing. People buying the planes wanted that. Didn't particularly think it was a great idea. Anyway, moving on from that, when we would install a new system like that, it cost millions of dollars. You're talking tens of thousands of person hours to get it implemented, to get everybody trained, to get up to speed, being productive with it. And peak productivity typically is about 18 months to get to peak productivity. Now, new software comes out that gives your competitor a strategic advantage 5 years later. What do you got? Right? You've got millions of dollars and tens of thousands of person hours of shifting over to the new thing because it's been so heavily customized for your own process. So it's a dual-edged sword. That customization gives you strategic advantage, gives you something that competitors cannot easily, getting all tongue-tied, getting excited about this, cannot easily replicate. But then again, neither can you. So be careful, since we're in such early days with these technologies. One of the considerations we had because I was part of a team that led embedding virtual reality tools into product development systems. And we were very, very careful about that. All of us having been in different situations where we got burned by a new tech that we worked with that had to be undone or became a boat anchor because we couldn't undo it. It's just too expensive, took too long, right? I have a story about the SpaceX Advantage, having been involved in launch system development. We'll come back to that in a future episode. So I don't want to get off track for that speed to be able to change to something new for strategic advantage, or because the tool that you've got is no longer supported, like Windows 7, if you use a PC, right? Windows 10 came out after a certain amount of time. Windows 7 no longer supported. Windows 11 is out at a certain time. Windows 10 will no longer be supported. And you're really, if nothing else, you're creating major security risks because the patches that you need to continue to push back against what the hackers are up to no longer come out because the software is no longer supported. So guess what? You need to shift over. How much of a disruption is that to your business? How much of a risk is that to your business? If you are implementing an artificial intelligence tool that becomes mission critical, it becomes strategically critical to your business. If it's no longer available, will it take down your business, or will it damage it in a way that you're really not going to have the same business after you get done dealing with the consequences? So consider that. It's a huge consideration up front as you're implementing these tools. Things are going to change. It's guaranteed. Some of them aren't going to be available. There's going to be leapfrogs, and we've seen that this year. One tool comes out and leapfrogs the next one, leapfrogs the next one, leapfrogs the next one. Where do you want to be on that continuum, right? And it may be that being in the middle somewhere, because there's three things that have been released that are better, and you're still doing okay. It still meets your need. That's fine. You need to be purposeful on that. You need to have that top of mind as owner of your company, as a leader in your company, so that you can keep that perspective, ask the right questions of your team to keep them focused on that. Now, Jeff, you had I want to come back to this. See, this ties into a lot of things in media. For example, what do the AI tools do for the believability of news outlets and political credibility? How do we know when the deep fake problem? How do we know when fake reports are coming out? We're seeing a ton of fake news, just total garbage from major news outlets because they're using AI and they're not vetting it properly. It's showing the defects. So this is what happens when you don't have a proper process in place before you digitize it, before you go digital. They're taking a process in place and they're not cleaning it up. They're not testing it properly, putting artificial intelligence into automating the process, and it's sending out reports that are not just unfounded, but completely fabricated. And they don't have a check and balance on it to catch it. Otherwise, that wouldn't be getting published that way. We're seeing scenario after scenario. I had a couple that I pulled up earlier. Jeff, I'm glad you brought that issue up. We'll talk about that some more going forward, and perhaps maybe even have you involved in that conversation. Jeff Zaranelli is someone that you need to know as well. Consummate actor, very sharp man, and proud to call him a colleague and a friend. Been involved with the Sound of Freedom project, and not just that, but the activity behind that. We're working with how do we stop trafficking of humans? How do we protect women and girls, women and children? So, Jeff is somebody you need to reach out to, and you'd be following him, his work, and really step up and see how you can help out. Okay. So, Jeff, thanks for being part of the conversation. Tim Gillette, you as well. Top of mind, what are you installing? How much of an impact is going to have on your business if it's no longer available, or if something that is radically better needs to be installed to replace it? How much turmoil, how much disruption in your business will that create? Thanks for being part of the conversation. I'm Wolf. This is Wolf's Watch. I look forward to seeing you on the trail.